one of my clients for 5 years. I had no idea what she actually did. She's very beautiful. And then one day she said to me, I need to keep my jawline really tight. We need to focus more on my jawline because I'm always looking up. And I was like, what do you do? And she's like, I don't want to tell you because I'm too embarrassed. I don't want you to know. I mean, I don't care that other people know, but you've known me for so long and you've never judged me. I'm like, I don't judge anyone. I literally do dick treatments all day. That's actually 3/4 of what I do. And I don't know if you know that, but I'll teach you. Yeah, I'm the #1 dick enlargement doctor in the country.
Hell yeah.
I treat the most guys for fillers to the dick, but I also do surgery there. We do other stuff. I'm working with a doctor now that does implants. So we do a bunch of stuff. So it turns out she was, I guess the past couple years, anal star of the year or whatever, for whatever adult film star awards that there were. And so I brought her actually to my holiday party for my staff I brought 3 people that I've treated over the years because she's been my client for like almost 10 years. And so I brought her and I said, I wanted everyone to learn her story as to why she initially came to me and how she feels real comfortable with our office. And so it was a whole discussion, but it turns out she's in her 50s and everyone thinks she's in her 30s because she looks so young.
Yeah.
So
what's funny about that, I never had an insecurity about under my eyes until the amount of times I'm shot like this.
Yep. Always looking up. I know. So that's
worst.
why you got a laser.
Yes.
That's why potentially you got to do filler. Although I will say filler to the under eyes is probably the things that people should be doing the least. So I don't know if anyone's ever injected there, but that area specifically holds filler for a very long time. And years later, you can get swelling there. And a lot of people are not really good candidates. So if you do it, it's got to be more lifting in your middle face and kind of lasering to tighten that area. Otherwise, over time, it can look, a little puffy.
Yeah.
But and on the opposite end, let's say if you're not an adult film star and you're not being filmed sucking someone's dick or whatever, then you should, a lot of people tell me overhead lighting, anywhere they are, elevator, if they're out and everyone's taking pictures of themselves, that's the area people notice aging the most. Actually, the earliest is the under eye and their folds.
Yes.
Because that even in their 20s, people come in to get treatments there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So when you've ever thought of, let's say, something cosmetic, did you ever worry about anything cosmetic? Have you ever thought about it or no? Because you're on screen, I guess, on camera.
Yeah. I actually had gynecomastia
as
a kid.
That's one of my specialties.
Well, so I had it removed when I was 20.
Oh, wow.
And I had my nipples fully.
Were you on testosterone or you just had them?
No, from the time I was 11, I had really big swollen nipples.
Okay.
And just literally never went away.
Okay.
So I couldn't take it anymore. So I finally did the surgery.
So many guys actually that's one of the things younger people would come into a doctor for. A lot of people do rhinoplasty when they're younger, but female breasts on a male is actually one of my specialties. In the old days, we used to just remove the glands, which is probably what you had.
I think is what
or sometimes they do a little lipo, and you could do it awake, actually. Yeah, that's what they usually do. You wear a wrap. A lot of bodybuilders will get it if they're on testosterone, but kids will get it if they're, and this is actually a good kind of segue into health and fitness, is a lot of foods that we eat are processed and have a lot of things in them like soy that produce estrogens. And if you smoke marijuana, that potentiates it. And so you could have more estrogen in your body. So a lot of younger guys now, I find, from processing foods that we eat, tend to increase the amount of guys that have gynecomastia. And so earlier...
funny is... when I was a kid, soy milk was the new hot thing.
See, that's not good for you guys.
I'm from Orange County, where it's the new hot.
Yeah, of course. LA, always the LA diets and everything.
And so my mom just force fed us soy milk.
See, that's probably why. Did you have that before or after the nipples?
After.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So I feel like a lot of what we're eating now has a huge effect on people earlier on and their changes in their faces and their bodies. So what we do now, though, one of the specialties is I have this trademark procedure called Gladiator, and what we do for a Gladiator chest is we remove the gland tissue, do the lipo, but we also internally heat the skin so it tightens it up. We can take the fat from the chest and put it into the upper chest to rebuild the chest and actually make it bigger. We can do implants at the same time, or if someone is sagging, like they've lost a lot of weight, we can actually do a chest lift with the scar around the nipple.
Wow.
So it's a 5 to 6 step process of you can get the most basic where you just remove the tissue,
Yeah.
or you can literally sculpt and define a chest.
So my nipples were actually resized.
Yeah, you can do that. We actually, tomorrow, I'm doing a
kinda
guy on Instagram.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
really?
Yeah, we do usually 1 or 2 live surgeries a week. Wait, is it tomorrow? No, tomorrow we're doing not on Instagram, Thursday.
Live surgery?
Oh, yeah, we do it all the time.
Whoa.
That's what I'm known for. Yes, it's a little crazy. So let's talk about branding and stuff, because what my podcast is called basically Grind Blueprint, because what we do is I'm a doctor, and literally for 15 years, I've been in practice now 16 years, but my schooling was like, I think 14 or 15 years total. And so
Damn.
literally you're just working consistently to get to something. And you may not even be a successful doctor, depends on what it is you consider success. But to me, it was both by financial and having really happy patients. And you have to work really hard. There's a lot of sacrifices you have to make. There's a lot of dedication to the craft. And so, I became successful in that, but then I started a bunch of businesses that became very successful. So I was like, I want to get people on that are like known in their industry, that are doing those types of things. They're really working hard to develop a name, influence a community, and adult film, you could call it whatever you want to call it, is a significant number of people watch it. And I'll tell you, they may not tell you they do, but I know they do, because they come to my office and they want bigger dicks. And I have a bunch of women that come in. We do vaginal plumping, we do tightening of the vagina, we do injections. Same thing on guys for erectile dysfunction and just harder, stronger erections and stuff. So sex is important to people.
Very.
So I was like, let's get some of the adult film stars on, but also most of the time, those guys are also taking really good care of their bodies. So there is some level of health and fitness. We can talk about the steroids and stuff besides that. But like, how did you get into adult film, and how did you create a brand?
Well, so I was working my dream job before the pandemic for years and years and years. Worked my way up to where I thought, like, all right, I really want to be there. And then I was laid off during the pandemic.
Okay.
And I had to take this, I worked in behavioral health. So I had to take this medical billing job where I just like sat on the phone reading codes all day and entering data.
It's boring.
Horrible.
You don't seem like that type of guy.
Oh my God. Like, it's just like, I like talking to people.
Yeah.
And I think I have ADD. So just
I think everyone a little bit does.
Yeah. Just staring at a screen is like not natural. Then I started to see all these guys like making a ton of money from Instagram. And I didn't have any social media. I didn't have anything like that. But I thought, all right, let's just see if like this is a product people want. So I did a photo shoot with like a kind of a well-known photographer, and it did really well.
Was it a regular photo shoot or a nude?
It was an Instagram safe photo shoot at first, because I just wanted to sort of see like, do I have something that people will want to buy? I didn't even have a Twitter yet, which is where I would put the nude photos.
Well, at the time, I think this was still probably the only place.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, maybe Reddit too, but and it did well. So I made like a conscious decision. Okay, if I'm gonna switch career paths, I cannot fail. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, I cannot, especially with this. Like, I have to be all in.
But why would you? But why would you think that you would potentially?
I don't really know. Like, sounds like a just internal risk management thing of like, all right, how do I not fail?
Yeah.
Like what do I do to make sure I'm the most successful at this?
Yeah. So when you thought about that, what were the things that you did?
Well, the trick in my industry and in social media in general is to like not reinvent the wheel. And just sort of like,
it's smart.
If other people are doing things successfully, just try to do that and make it your own.
Yeah, because there's enough people that will want to watch it,
100%.
and there's enough people that will want someone specific, like your look.
Totally.
Like everybody wants something. And also, I feel like with sex, it's not like someone chooses one thing.
Right.
They probably could watch 1 million in a day.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
how many times a guy can get off in a day. Is there an answer to that?
No.
We need to ask. AI. Can someone ask an AI? Well, you're pointing to him. You're saying he gets off a lot in a day. No, someone ask AI. What is the what is the most somebody's actually ejaculated in one day? How many times?
Are we talking like when does it stop coming out? Like
Well,
when
I don't
is it
know
just
because
dust?
I know that might be only one or two for somebody. It just depends if they're on steroids and stuff, or if their testicles are raisins.
Oh my God.
But no, I mean, I literally will have people. I was actually talking about this yesterday with a client of mine. I didn't know was like a swinger. I guess his girlfriend's super hot, and so I had no idea he was bisexual. I thought he was just with this girl.
Love that.
And then I found out they were going to the sex party that night, and he was like, I'm doing the Botox. Can I go to the sex party? And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't understand at first. I was like, what are you talking about? And then it turns out he likes to have sex with the girlfriend and the boyfriend, right?
Sounds fun.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah, but he said they are 8 hours to 10 hours.
Oh.
I'm like, that's a long fucking sex party. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that. I definitely couldn't last that long. So that's why I was asking is like, don't reinvent the wheel. But like, there was that one girl that had sex with like 50 guys in a day or something?
Yeah,
or
I think it was
100?
100.
100 guys in a day?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 1,000 guys? Oh my God.
1,000? Was that her latest?
That's insane.
So Bonnie Blue.
Yes,
Bonnie
yes.
Blue.
So the reason I'm bringing that up is I guarantee you there's somebody for every, there's someone watching everything.
Yes.
And I feel like you don't even have to have literally a brand, but if you did, it kind of brings a community, or like it's just like any other field. People then want to follow you to see what it is that you're doing every day, but then also behind the scenes, like what you do every day. So that's why I was asking is how did you build up? You started doing this regular. What were the regular things that you didn't reinvent?
Well, so first, like you were saying, and this is like people ask me how to get into the industry, and I'd rather just say it broadly as a PSA. Like, you have to get in the best shape you can possibly be in.
That's true, but I've seen people over COVID that were really in shape and then got really out of shape.
Yes.
And that became even more successful for them.
Oh, well, there's
like
a
heavy.
There's a sub brand called Gainers. Have you heard about this?
No, but this is probably the people I'm talking about.
Yeah. So people like watching them get fat over time.
Yeah, they watch them eat.
Yes.
And stuff. I know, it's crazy because there's these Instagrams. I was telling my team, this girl is like, what I eat every day is a fatty. That's her Instagram. And like, people are on there like, girl, you're getting diabetes. Girl, you're gonna die of cancer. And she just loves it.
Well, she's probably making a fortune.
That's the thing. And I think also she's getting the free food probably, which I don't know if that's worth the money or not. But literally, like the other day, she's like, white chick taco. I'm like, what is that? Like, I had no idea what a white chick taco was. And it was the those boxed tortilla shells. And so she made the boxed tortilla shells and then she ate it over some sort of salad. And then when everything dripped into the salad, she ate the salad.
Oh my God.
I was like, wow, I've never heard of that. But like all these people are saying bad things about her, but that's the engagement that she likes, that she's getting. And so I think for like sex, I feel like people will kind of watch everything and the reason I actually know a lot about porn is not the fact that everyone watches it, but a client of mine actually was one of the biggest investors for Pornhub. And when that occurred, I started looking at it because he told me that SEO'd, the way porn sites are SEO'd, they're the highest of any, the most viewed and the highest of any websites online. And so he said, if you're going to build a doctor site out, you need to build it like a porn site.
That's brilliant.
And so I was like, I need to go on these porn sites. So I literally was screenshotting like dick videos to my porn people or to my website people. And they were like, they're like, I've never seen so many dicks in my life besides the dick pictures you sent us for the treatments. And, but it was like, okay, look at this video. It's big here. And then it's all these little ones. And then it's the character and all the character videos. And I was like, okay, take that too. Here's the patient story, full video. Here's every step of the surgery. Here's all the results. And then other people like it. And so I literally modeled my new website that just came out, and it has 16 times higher views in just a few weeks.
Perfect
actually,
example of not reinventing the wheel.
Right, and so that's that. But that's utilizing something that someone may think is like taboo or like, non-professional or whatever you want to say. Because in my industry, there's ethics, in terms of being a doctor. I think for you, with what you do, it's reputation. It just depends on what people say or don't say. I could care less what anyone does if it doesn't hurt me, for example. But some people just automatically have preconceived notions.
Yes.
So when you started building that out and people started seeing it, did your community change? Did people around you change? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so I went from working at a women's facility
Okay.
to only women I interact with now are my mom and my sister. Like my entire bubble is gay men, and like thousands and thousands and thousands.
That's funny.
It's just because of the industry I'm in.
Yeah.
This is only people I see.
Yeah.
Only people
I mean, that's
talk to.
funny. And I'm actually gay and a dermatologist.
Yeah.
And you'd think because gay men tend to care a lot about their face and body.
Yeah.
But actually, not a lot of gay men come to me, interestingly. I always thought I would be very popular. So my niche when I started was I'm like going to be a gay dermatologist that treats men, and then I do body contouring. At the 10 years ago when I was here, people didn't do the ab sculpting and stuff that I do, or the chest surgeries like I do now. And so actually more women came to me because they felt comfortable that I was a guy who was gay, and then they brought me their boyfriends because they were like, you'll know what's attractive for him. And it turns out all those people were like the very high-end working professionals.
Yeah.
And then it just exploded for me. So I have multiple locations and we're very busy all the time. Last week I was working till like 11 at night every night. It was crazy.
Damn.
But people that are gay follow me a lot. And I don't know where they go. They don't come to me as much. I think because of, I think people in the gay community, and I'd be curious to see in terms of cosmetics, I don't think they value as much the person doing it as much as the cost. And see, my people tend to value who's doing it.
Yeah.
So I think as people get a little bit older or more successful, I have people then come to me.
Yeah.
But I have certain people, but it's just a lower population. So you have...
Well, in porn too, gay men are way cheaper than straight men.
Yeah, I want to ask, I'm curious about that. So how does... Well, actually, let's go back 1 second, then I'll do this. When you said you switched, because I think this is important for the actual podcast, is when you switched from this corporate professional job with all women, and then you were like, I want to go into the basically, adult film industry. I can't fail. How are you thinking about, and what did you do to not fail? Because there are many people, and I tell them my story. I didn't come from anything. I had a lot of debt when I moved to Los Angeles. Actually, I had almost $300,000 in debt because I had medical school and all this stuff. And I had an amazing job that was paying me a lot. And I could have paid it back very quickly. But I was like, I need to move to Los Angeles because that's where I can be who I want to be. And I'm going to be really successful. And many people around me told me not to do it. Many. Except for one of my best friends who's now extremely wealthy because he did a very similar thing. He joined a startup and worked for many years to build that company, made nothing, and then they sold for $1 billion, right? So he made a ton. And now he doesn't even have to work if he doesn't want to. So he said to me, don't listen to anyone else. If you want to be successful, I'm getting the U-Haul, and you'll drive there, and if you fail, I'll pick you up, So he did that for me, and I just, every day, everywhere I went, I told every single person about me. I made business cards. I remember I had no money, so I had to find like one that was really cheap, and there was this online site called moo.com. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but now it's very popular. So, and I actually think they actually sold to venture capital, so they worth a lot of money. So I designed this really cool one where it had like half my face on it, and it had like an outline of color, and so when I'd hand it out, everyone would be like, are you a magician? Like they didn't know. I was like, oh shit, I didn't do the right branding here. But it was so like distinctive that people were like, I'm like, no, I'm a doctor. Like, oh, okay, I get it. You're an artist or whatever. I was like, it was like black and white, and I was like half my face was on it. I thought it was cool, and it was like a teal color. Yeah. But I like branded, I started like the branding, and then people really got to know me. And I met people. I went to like 3 gyms. I did like gym memberships at 3 places. I would talk to every person, give them a card, be like, come in for a free skincare product, come in for a free facial or whatever. Awesome. And right, exactly. So I got clients. And so I have people now in my industry, and I just did a podcast before this where they'll look at you and say, I want what you have, but not be willing to do that. They're not willing to stay up till midnight answering questions on blogs online to get clients or stuff like that. So what does it take to get successful in your industry, and what did you do to get where you are now? Because how long have you been doing it now? Since 2020?
2021.
Okay, so 4 years. Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I studied everybody who was making the most money. Like
that's a good idea.
Studied their social media.
Because that's like now going to analytics on an Instagram or something, but that wasn't really as big. So how did you know who was the social media following that they had, or?
Yeah, social media following. The first ever collab I did was with a guy that was like really, really big, and I picked his brain, and then I sort of, it's like
among other things. No,
yeah, literally. Yeah.
He was big.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah. But he was willing to help you?
Yes.
Because some people won't. They're competitive. Are people in your industry competitive? Yes. Or they help each other?
It's a really collaborative industry.
Well, you have to because you have to work together.
In OnlyFans, very collaborative. There is like some gatekeeping, but studio porn is like the most gatekeepy. Oh my God, those people
Really?
never leave their jobs. It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Do they make a lot, or what's the
I
reason?
don't even think they do.
Okay.
I think the only people making a ton are the people at the very top. But yeah, even if you wanted to break in as like a director or producer or something like that, you have to just literally start your own company. Because
Okay.
if you want to try to get into the big places, it is so tight. So yeah, that's very competitive behind the camera. But as far as like OnlyFans goes, it's collaboration. Like you meet people, you want to use each other's expertise, each other's platforms to reach a new audience.
Are there certain people that don't want to work with others? Like, how do you
Yeah.
pick someone? Do you know you'll have good sex with them? Or because, like, are there people that have amazing following, you know you'd make good money with them, but you don't want to have sex with them, but you still do it? Interesting.
That's
I'm curious about that.
so funny. My husband, he's been sort of getting into it, but he won't have sex with anyone he doesn't want to have sex with.
Okay.
And
Even if he makes money.
that's the name of the game.
So how much then? 5,000, 10,000, $1 million?
Well, it really-
like if he was offered like
Right.
this amount, would he do it?
Right.
I always wonder what people would do.
It's sort of based on like, for him, if I'm like, babe, they have 1 million Twitter followers. Like,
Right.
just
That's a huge
go.
opportunity.
Yes, take the dick. Like, just jeez. But yeah, so me, that was my whole growth strategy. Like, never did it occur to me, do I want to have sex with this person?
Got it. So it was all business
Yes.
oriented. Well, I
Yeah.
like that. So that's interesting to put on here because I don't think many people talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, in my industry, it's very non-collaborative. Actually, in
sure.
fact, to a point, I will tell you one time in my career, I don't even know if Alec knows this story. I actually am thinking about writing a book or at least doing a documentary because I've had a lot of people try to sue me and a lot of people try to harm me. Because when I moved here, I became very successful very fast. And to the point where people just get jealous. I didn't pay attention to anyone else. I, again, was like you, was very driven. And I didn't have others to look at because there wasn't anyone like me then in my industry. And there wasn't anyone even doing the lipo. Actually, in fact, the lipo that I do right now, which is what I'm known for, at the time that I came here, only one person was doing it. When I posted the first video showing this new device that created a six-pack, 18 doctors bought it that week. So that company called me and wanted me to be their brand ambassador, but they didn't want to pay anything. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I ended up doing things with them in the future. But over the course of 5 years, they then sold 100 or 200 of them in this area alone, which is a lot. I mean, think of that, 200 doctors to buy this one laser just so they could do one treatment. It's like very competitive. So I had a partner, and somebody in the office there called the medical board on me and said I was using patients' drugs, or I was taking patients' medications. Because what we had done at the time was a patient would have a surgery, we'd have it delivered to our office, and we would give it to them during pre-op. And someone anonymously reported. And so I don't even drink alcohol. Like literally, I mean, I very rarely do. I bought a $2,000 bottle of champagne on New Year's just because I was like, we got to celebrate, but that's it. I barely ever drink. So they came in and they cut my hair and they actually did a hair test and embarrassed me in front of people and stuff. And it turns out somebody in the office, I'm not going to name who, did that, reported a lie, thinking that it was anonymous. But what they didn't realize, the cost to do that was a lot. And so they ended up getting a fine and almost got sued by the government, basically by the medical board. So even that level of pettiness versus, let's say my first partner, I had said to him, look, I'm getting really successful. I need this laser, or I need something. Just buy it from me and we'll be able to grow. And he wouldn't. And so I had to get my own loans. I had to do my own stuff. And that was like, I'm just going to start my own practice. But people don't really want to work together to make each other grow. They want to steal others, or they want to watch your YouTube videos or watch your stuff and then make a website saying they do it better, and then they compete with you, or they'll SEO to try and get, or do ads in your name. Like I have a doctor right now that's doing ads under my name, and so what happens if you search my name, his ads come up because he bought my name, and it costs like 50 grand to do that a month, which is like insane. So I'm like, why do people go to that level when you could be way more successful together? And so that's why I keep trying to tell people, like, if you were in your industry, the two audiences see each other, everyone makes more money.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, there's a lot of things that I don't think you guys do well, which I think is products and being involved with brand deals.
Totally.
Because people are too worried, because I think because they're in the adult industry, they don't think so. And so they only go for like dildos and like condoms and stuff like that. I'm like, no, like like that underwear is like, but Calvin Klein already does that. So it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't make that much.
Yeah.
But real collaborations could be things where, like, again, I told you sex is very important. And guys that come to me want hard erections. So why not be doing things like peptides that increase blood flow, or pea shots where we do stem cells to your penis every quarter and get guys to come in for it and make money on it. You know, like there are a lot of collaborations that I think that people in your industry don't know that I think they would do. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I'm like, I think you could start that and be like the leader in it, you know, and make a lot and make people happy. I mean, the thing is, it's not, to me, it's not about success is, you know, it's great to have money and do things for people. The reason I like to be successful is I could just buy something for anyone I want. My dream, my best friend is actually, Alex is going to meet him this weekend. He's coming from New York. He is a very successful guy in New York, but he is in finance, and you're kind of capped. You can, you can do as many collaborations you want, keep building, make a lot of money, whatever you want. Totally. At some point, you work for like a bank, you get whatever they pay you, right?
Yep.
So he's like, I'm gonna want to buy a new truck, and I'm like, how much money do you have to spend on this truck? And it was like $100-something thousand. But it's pretty good. But he like loves cars, and I have a car company that does things. And I was like, well, what if you increase that just a little bit, and I'll give you my Lambo? And he was like crying. He was like so happy. So I did.
Hell yeah.
So I gave it to him.
Hell yeah.
Now, what he doesn't know is I own many businesses and a holding company that the tax write-off actually saved me more money than the Lambo, which is great. But now he got a car. And the reason I did that, though, he's been my friend for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And when I had nothing in New York, and I would make $40,000 a year as a resident, and my friends could go like to the Hamptons in the weekend and stuff. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't go. Mike gave me money. He paid. He took me on a trip to Hawaii. He took me on a trip to all these places. I never paid him back. You know, now I can. And so that's what's kind of cool. And I think that to me is the level of success.
Absolutely.
And so for you, when you were building, what was in your mind as what was going to make you successful? What would make you feel successful when you started? Because you said I can't fail.
Yeah.
So if you can't fail, when were you saying I succeeded?
Well, at the time, you know, working at a company for 4 or 5 years and begging for a $90K salary.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And $90K in California, just FYI, if you're not someone like me that knows about taxes, and by the way, we will have one of the best accountants, which I need to give you. We will be giving one of the best accountants in the world, top 5 in Forbes, and a financial planner who just canceled on me tonight, by the way. Alex, I'm going to kill you. If you guys want them, I'm going to give them to you because they're unbelievable. And in California, on your type of job, if you don't have, well, I guess it's independent contractor, which is good, right?
Yes.
Because you do it independently. Because is it under a corporation, these collabs? I don't know how that works.
No, everything is
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you can write off things, but if you can't, it's like 40 to 50% taxes. Depends on your bracket. So if you're making 90, you're really taking home 45, and who can live on that? That's insane.
No, really.
You know, and so that's what I mean is for someone like you, actually, my team.
I had all of it.
Well, my team actually could help you a lot with the structure of an actual corporation. Because now that I know what you do, you would be able to do a lot more things.
I need that help.
Yeah, I want to. I know, and that's why I'm going to have various people on here. But I think that's one of the reasons why I actually was able to become successful. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save. Because here, especially in California, they kill you. It's literally impossible. It's why almost everybody's moving to Texas, Florida, other places where they don't. And our corporations are in other states because of the ability to have holdings companies and stuff. But so how did it grow?
So I had my business plan, which was at the time I could equate growth to social media growth.
Yeah. So following and the engagement.
I started at 0. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, how much can we get this to grow?
Well, I'll tell you, my number one highest views are when I'm in underwear.
Oh, of course.
By far.
Of course.
Right? I posted, and then people I've honestly lost followers though.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I wanted to follow a doctor, not a porn star or something. I'm like, on the flip side, I tell people, look, here's a doctor that's fit, that's trying to show me at the gym at 5 a.m. and motivating people that if you do lipo, you should be working out. Or if you do lipo, you should take peptides. So I thought there'd be a good overlap, like kind of there, but
of course.
I've lost a lot of followers from that. But I didn't really care that much. Yeah. No, for real. But then I have other people where like they reply and they're like, I was sleeping, fuck this, I need to get up, I'm getting up tomorrow morning, you know, or like I've had people where like, you know what, Dr. Emmer, if you can do it, I'm going to do it. And like right now, I just got a DM from a client of mine that had surgery, came from Chicago, watched my Instagram for over 4 or 5 years and lost 100 pounds. And then he decided to go to me for surgery. And then when he did the surgery, now he's on the peptides, he had needed testosterone replacement, a bunch of stuff, and he changed his whole life. And so I can't believe that because I did those posts, this person did that surgery and made his life change that he needed. Just like you had this chest thing done, which probably made you a lot more confident. You know, especially a young guy, if you have like women, we call them bitch tits or whatever is what they're called when you're young.
It didn't matter how much I developed my chest.
Yeah. You just see the puffiness and the roundness. Yeah.
Because you want the chest to look a certain way and it can't do this.
Right.
It can't.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And then especially with you do now and you didn't know you were going to do that, it wouldn't make you feel as good.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, that's funny. When I watch videos now like that, I could see when guys are on testosterone and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have huge nipples and stuff like that.
So I'm glad the glands are gone for that reason. I don't have to worry about that.
That's good.
Thank God.
Yeah. And so the views went from 0 to what in a year? Or the following, let's say.
The following, so on Twitter, I was growing. I grew to probably like 200,000 within a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Instagram. So Instagram and I have a love-hate relationship.
Oh, Instagram hates me.
Yeah. So,
hates me. I can't believe. That's the other thing. I get so pissed at what you guys get away with.
Well,
not everyone, but some are literally showing their asshole.
Yeah, no, literally.
And they're totally fine. And I don't get
like
it.
15,000 likes, I know.
No, mine, I put a before and after of a woman in bikini, and I get blocked. I get shadow banned. I'm shadow banned for 3 years now.
They're not supposed to do that.
I know.
It's supposed to
it's
be
not.
For medical
Yeah, but they
purposes.
don't. They say it's nudity. They always claim.
Because it's AI.
No, I know.
Unless you know somebody in there that can like...
Yeah, we've had it before where I've gotten someone to be able to take it down, and then the views went up in a day, and then it got blocked again.
Yeah.
So it's been tough. So is that what happens to you?
I can help you with that.
I would love that.
Knowing exactly what to
I can tell you exactly.
Block out and...
Oh, no. I follow the rules now. Yeah. But even still, like, I can't... I also have, again, like I said, in my industry, there's not a lot of collaboration, and I have a lot of people that report me. Like, they constantly I think other competitors' offices, they just report, now there's a thumbs down. I get thumbs downs all the time. Or we got bot attacked 2 weeks in a row where in my thing, it was literally like, worst result ever, you're botched. And it kept over and over and over 100 of them. So that's
crazy.
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
You have to
you think that in
for that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know how bad this is? Somebody even hired, I'm not even kidding you, people to hand out sheets in front of my building saying, don't go to Dr. Emmer. And they put like some lawsuits that I had in like a binder. And some were like employee things that honestly, if you actually read them, you'll see it's something that people try and take advantage of. And it wasn't anything we ever did. And some of them are the fact that I had like people that tried to harm me and I had to sue. I had to. I mean, I'm from the Midwest. I don't even want to sue people. It's a waste of money and time.
So it's funny you say all this. So I'm from a behavioral health background, treatment centers, this, that. My parents founded treatment centers and stuff. So it was my whole life from the time I was like 3 on. So I swear to God, the porn industry is significantly more ethical internally than
I believe it.
Medical or treatment. Or,
100%.
doctors are the biggest assholes I've ever had to work with.
It's crazy. And see, I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
I'm so nice. And so I've just been taken advantage of so many times.
Yeah.
People know that about me. And I think because of it, they'll find a loophole or a rule. Like we had an employee who was pulling her hair out slowly. And we didn't know. No. She did it on purpose.
Oh.
But we didn't know. She did go to a psychologist telling all the terms for trichotillomania and hostile work environment making her stressed out, and then tried to sue us for like millions of dollars.
Oh,
and you want to know the settlement was $20,000. It's so sad.
You had to pay a fortune in attorney's fees, right?
Well, there's insurance, but then what happens is the insurance then increases yours so much, and then at one point I actually lost it and had to rebuy it with another company for way more expensive. But people do that to try and take advantage. They know that there's lawyers here that look for that, and they'll just make up. Like what happened was there was another girl that was working with her and was working really hard because she was really good at her job, and the other girl was not working, and so the other girl was upset, and she would tell us, she's not helping me. She's not, we're supposed to be a team. So then we have to micromanage her. And as we started micromanaging her, she was like, I don't like being here. But instead of just quitting your job and saying, you know what, I don't like it, I'm not going to do it, she then tried to do that to try and sue.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that people will do that because they'll just try and harm other people rather than taking responsibility for themselves.
Yes.
And that's why I was saying to my team, I was like, it'd be good to bring you on because I want to know how in your industry people do so many collaborations. Like in mine, it's very rare to have a doctor promote another doctor. Like I just did a podcast with another doctor, who's a very famous doctor, and we're very similar, so he wanted to do it. But I've had tons of people specifically not take my skincare line, even though it's way better than all the ones that are out there. We studied it, we have documented results, just because it's my name. If it was in another bottle and did not have my name and they didn't know, they would have bought it. And that takes away actually the oath that they have, which means giving the best to their clients, So it's very crazy when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And then your guys' injury is so collaborative. So that's why I was going to ask you, so like, what is your unique selling point for yourself?
Well,
who's your audience and what do you do? What do you sell?
My audience. So I think I sort of figured out over time who my audience is based on like my analytics. And my audience is, which is kind of cool, is my peers. Like people 25 to 34. Like,
so you know what they want.
Yes, I know what they want.
So is there some acting in these shots, or are you going with the flow?
Well, you mean,
well, if you know what they want, are you going to do some of those things?
Of course.
I know, that's what I mean. So, is there like some true acting to it, or
sometimes you don't want to take an 11-inch penis.
I think so. It's funny how
you're just tired.
It's funny though. I look on Twitter and a guy posted an 11-inch dick the other day, and then there's a million people on the side being like, "Come over, I want that. How much?" Like literally, I've never seen so many people want an 11-inch dick.
I'll tell you what, LA is full of size queens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that because a lot of them come to me for the penis filler.
Yeah,
they do. But the funny thing is, so the penis filler though doesn't give a lot of length. It gives more girth.
Which is better than length.
I mean, that's what I think. That's what most of the girls will say I think from guys with girls. I think most gays would say that too, I would say, but I think gays want everything bigger. They just always want bigger.
In there.
I know, believe me, I tell them we inject the G-spot with PRP and stem cells, and it's not far. It's literally, I know, that's what I'm saying. We're going to do that with you live. We need to talk about that. That's the next step, is to do that live, because I want to see your reaction to it. I do know that we need to plan, if we do that, like the next day or day after, you need to do a shoot.
Okay.
Because it's going to be probably one of your best shoots ever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think you can put that on YouTube too.
We can put it on YouTube and Twitter. So my YouTube is safe for doing that. It's taken a long time to get my YouTube not blocked, because I did get blocked on YouTube for a while, even with YouTube.
Damn.
Even though it's educational. But I think you'll start the trend. My idea with you is to make you like a brand ambassador, and then you bring in the people under you that want to do this with me, and then as a group you guys can succeed. Because some will be, I think, treatments in the office, and some I think will be things that we can customize, like supplements and peptides and things that I think that you and your following would want, because these guys, they want great sex, they want to look their best, they want to live longer.
Yes.
I mean, we know that especially in the gay community, how someone looks reflects how they feel.
Yeah, looking your best is what it's life for
Yeah,
most of
I
us.
know.
It's our job. You know what I mean? Like I had a cold last week and I had to skip the gym, and the mental turmoil of having to skip the gym for
Just
a
talked
week
about this in my last podcast.
is beyond.
I know.
To,
See, next time you come to my office,
Yeah.
we do an IV. I'm going to give you well, actually, you can do a couple peptides, but two main peptides, NAD and TB4.
oh, NAD.
Yeah,
That's
NAD,
amazing.
TB4. NAD, super high dose, 1,000, 2,000 milligrams. Very high. You're going to feel nauseous. And then it will make you recover so fast. But TB4 stimulates your immune system to get all your reactive, healthy immune cells activated so you feel better faster.
Amazing.
So that's things like people should know, because I feel like that in your industry would be really good, especially like no one wants to do a shoot if someone's sick, you know, because they're going to get everyone sick.
You have to cancel
can't.
everything.
Right.
You can't go to the
You can't.
gym.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it either if I had surgery.
Yeah,
it's the same.
totally.
So I got to stay healthy. So that's why I do. That's why I don't drink a lot. I don't drink at all, basically, and I don't go out really. And I sleep. I stay up a little later than most, but I sleep the best I can and stuff like that. But I want to go back to what made you succeed. What made you grow fast and start to succeed?
I studied what was successful, and I tried to emulate it at the highest quality I could.
So what things did you have to do? Like, how, was it,
you have to really focus on trends on social media.
So you were constantly researching,
yes,
watching people.
Yes.
Did you have to do a lot of collaborations and videos, or was it just a smaller number of really good ones?
Tons.
What's tons? The number per week, highest number.
What I was putting out, probably 2 a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Putting out 2 a week. I was just in Mexico City where I filmed 6 in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
So, but then that will keep me until,
Did each video only have one ejaculation?
Yes, and I time it. So
I was gonna say, can you do multiple shots or no?
I could. I
can't.
My heart won't be in the next one. So I try to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
The minute
That's funny. I didn't know your heart was involved in these. I had no clue.
Well, you have to really, you have to be into it. Even if like.
What's funny, my tagline for this is supposed to be where hustle meets heart. So I'm like laughing. I didn't say it yet. We didn't bring it out yet, but I'm like, this is an example where hustle is heart.
Yeah.
Is heart.
Yeah.
So wait, so you have to be into it. You have to be into it.
A little bit, which I think why I've been successful at the actual performance part of it is because I can find something I like about anyone. Mm-hmm. Like if even just one little thing that turns me on about somebody, I'll get like really into that.
That's good.
And you just sort of go with that.
What's your position in these shots?
So,
or how is that decided?
So typically, I have a bigger ass than I do a dick.
Okay.
So
people then tend to want to showcase your ass.
Yes, and I have like a unique ass for gay porn. Like most gay porn stars laser their ass.
Okay.
And they have zero hair and this, that, and the
Oh,
other.
I was hairier than you.
Yeah.
Before I had laser hair removal.
Yeah.
My whole body. I'm Jewish, and I was a beast.
Yeah.
My entire body. I remember one of my first photos going to college. I was 130 pounds, and I had a bush in my armpit out to here, this far. Yeah. And I threw that picture away. It's never to be seen. So I got hair removal. But yeah, you're right. Most people in the gay community, for some reason, like super, super smooth. But you're more hairy. Yeah. You're saying.
Yeah. So
it stands out.
Several guys with hairy asses blow up on Twitter. Like people actually love a hairy ass, and
I mean, like I said, there's a grouping of things for everybody.
My dad used to say there's an ass for every toilet seat.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I have a client who is a super hot female. She sells her socks and underwear after every workout.
Yeah, of course.
For between $500 and $2,000.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. They just want it used.
Yeah.
From her. And then there's this girl I was watching yesterday that I guess has a jar that she puts her farts in.
Yeah. That went viral.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, I mean, people will pay for anything, really.
So back in the...
So your ass stands out.
Yeah.
So that's actually something to bring up, because in my office, over the past years, let's say 5 years, ass treatments have really grown significantly. Filler to the ass, things like Sculptra that actually stimulates the butt to grow. Even my fiance does 4 each side, usually every quarter or so. He gets really mad if he doesn't get it. He gets upset.
Yeah, of course.
To make it, keep it bigger.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, Sculptra is a company called PLLA, and it's basically suture material in a powder. When you mix it in a solution, you inject it to the butt, it tells the butt to grow. I call it like fertilizer. So it lifts the butt, it tightens the butt, and so to prevent sagging, especially on semaglutide and things like that, where people are losing weight, they lose their butt. Actually, I've had numerous girls stop GLP-1s because they lost too much of their ass when they were on it. And I've had guys the same.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why if you guys do go on a GLP-1 and you aren't on a real peptide plan, you should come to me because we prevent the muscle loss. That's the other thing, is you can lose a lot of muscle and get facial volume loss, which we were talking about. The other things people will do is I do a lot of anal Botox.
That's what I need.
Ton of it. We'll do that on film. It'll be great.
So yeah,
Anal Botox, you have no idea. The number of people I have that have hemorrhoids that it helps, prevents fissures, allows it to open a lot more easily if you have toys or want to have sex. Also, sweating in that area can cause discoloration. So I have a lot of girls, guys that are darker skin tones that want their hole to look pink, or the crack to not be dark. I don't know if Alex ever looked at his before. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if he has, but I have people literally come in, they have a mirror, like they know exactly what it looks like. Same thing in the groin for girls and in the vagina and stuff. And so there's all those treatments. I probably do 3 to 5 of those every day.
Really?
Every single day.
That's so, the two I really, really, really want to do, and I was actually going to do them soon, was I want Scrotox.
I was the first person to do in the U.S.
No way.
Conan O'Brien called me out in 2007 or 8 and said, there's this doctor in New York, and he's doing what he calls Scrotox because he treats marathon runners, because I used to treat a ton of marathon runners with Botox in the groin, and they would tell me their balls would sweat. So they would get irritation. So we Botoxed everything, and then their balls would hang more.
Amazing.
So some of it, though, I will tell you, is not the muscle. Some is the fact that guys' testicles atrophy if they're on steroids or as you get older.
That's what's going on.
So that's the problem, is you can actually do a testicular cap. There's like, an implant like on a girl's boob.
Yeah.
They actually have that on the balls.
Damn.
And you can put a cap, and it makes like a marble, and it's heavier and makes it fall. And so that's definitely something you could do. Then you don't have to worry about it as much.
You don't think Scrotox would help?
No, you try it. Try it. I would think it'd be fun to try. I think we could do all these things because this is the stuff I'm talking about that I think people want, but they don't even know, And the other thing too, like let's say, guys come into me a lot with smaller testicles, or like I call them high-end tight scrotums, and I think it looks fine. Like if you have a big dick and you have a tight scrotum, who cares? Like I've seen tons of porn stars that have that, but if you don't and you want it to hang or whatever, you could do the Scrotox to help try and get it to relax, and you can also do that other treatment. Like there's other options.
So back to what we were talking about, like studying what does well. There are certain images that do really well and go viral, and it's the long balls.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
and it's funny, women hate that. They actually, a lot of them force their husbands and boyfriends to get reduction surgery where they lift it up. There's a doctor here that specializes in that, and he's booked all the time.
I feel so
and
bad
I feel bad for them
guys.
because I feel like I love hanging balls.
I really do. You know what's funny? When I go to the Korean spa, I can tell who's straight and who's gay because all the straight guys have 0 pubes because their girlfriends make them go totally bald.
There you go.
I'm like, straight.
That's funny.
Then all the gay guys have bushes.
Yes, maybe. That's true. I mean, that's the look right now. Listen. So, no, that's what I was going to bring up was I do think that there's a lot of people that want those treatments.
Yeah.
And that's why people come to me, because I'm very open. I'm willing to speak about it. I'm very comfortable with everything. I tell people, like, I had a guy the other day that was, like, embarrassed to show me his penis because he wanted penis enlargement. I'm like, I'm literally going to have to look at it all the time. Like, it's not, like, most of my patients are running around naked. They don't even care.
Yeah.
And you have to be comfortable. And there's not many doctors that are. I think a lot are very... they just hold back, they're not willing to talk about these things, or they're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a good sex life, or they're not comfortable. I could care less the size of my penis, and I could care less the size of someone else's penis.
Totally.
But if they want it to be a lot bigger, great. I had this one guy recently, he made an actual PowerPoint of his dick because he wanted enlargement. And he had a limp and erect at every single angle and every size, 11 slides. And he's like 10 inches long. And his chief complaint was, I want my penis to be bigger because I want to get into the porn industry. I'm like, I got on the call, I'm like, you do not need this treatment to get into the porn
Yeah,
industry.
you're good.
He's like, how do I get into it? I was like, start OnlyFans.
Yeah, 8 and
just
above,
post
you're
your
good.
dick.
Yeah.
That's all you don't even show your face. People will go to you. Like, they will like you.
100%. There's angles too.
And so I told him not to do it. I actually told him not to. I was like, it was actually pretty. I mean, I know it sounds weird coming from a doctor that looks at penises, but some penises look nice and some do not.
It's aesthetics.
And I guarantee you, if you ask people and you show them pictures, they'd be like, "Ooh," or they'd be like, "Wow, that looks
100%.
that's surprising." So this guy's was very pretty, and I was like, people would want to look at that, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was saying. I think in this industry, what?
Ethical.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's very ethical.
Yeah.
But there needs to be doctors that are willing to talk about these things. I don't look at somebody and get attracted to them. I think of it medically.
Objectively.
You know, yeah, especially if I'm, you know, if somebody wants to look good. Like I have a lot of models that do underwear modeling and they want to be bigger in the underwear and stuff, and we've done it and they look great. You know, and I have people where they're showing off their whole bodies, you know, or doing the porn where they're showing their asses, you know.
Yeah. It's very similar. What I do, you take a step back and you look at it objectively of like, is this hot? Will this sell? Is this marketable? Versus like, oh, I'm so into this, or like, oh, I want to da 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 da. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Do you feel like all this has led to you having a lot of income streams?
Yes.
So like, what are they? Like, how do you make money?
So I've got several. Studio porn is one of them, probably the lowest one.
And is that your least favorite?
Yes. So
What reason?
what I can accomplish in 2 hours, studio porn takes 8 or 9 hours.
Okay, it's a lot.
Because it's more professional. It's this.
Right.
It's 2 cameras. We have a guy holding the sound. We have lights. It's stationary too. So
I feel like people like amateur though more now.
Yeah.
I mean, even the algorithm of Instagram this year has changed to be, they don't even really want detailed animation and stuff. They literally just want you holding a camera, which is what I said to my team multiple years in a row. I was like, all people want to see is the real life. They don't like even all this AI and CapCut and all this stuff. Like, it's a lot, but I mean, it's cool for like a studio or like entertainment and stuff. But like for real, like people that are following people, I don't think they care as much about that.
Right. And so I'm sure you're dealing with this too. Like, I want to take my brand to a more professional looking level. So like I'll hire really amazing videographers and this, that, and the other. Never does as good as me and my front facing camera and a ring light.
I got it. But you know what? Your brochure needs to have that.
Yes,
and maybe
of
that's your website and specific videos that highlight certain things. Like if we wanted to highlight your anal Botox,
right,
we can do that with a professional camera. And then you can have super high end. You could use it for whatever you wanted.
Totally.
I'd be curious to see what that video would do online. I think it'd be great because there's no professionally made high quality anal Botox or scrotox video.
No.
And I think that would be amazing to do. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
But we do that in the office for like patients that undergo like a full surgery, and we follow their whole plan. And that whole story can be made into a video. But the day-to-day, you know, people want to see is more of amateurish. You know, you don't even really need a camera like this. You could just have an iPhone.
Right.
Because the iPhone is made to do that now anyways.
Yeah.
What else were you saying for the income streams? You had the studio stuff, but now we want it to be more amateur, but you're doing it because it's part of the resume.
Right. So my number one income stream is from OnlyFans. There are like several other fan platforms, but it's like...
How do you maintain the subscribers?
Constant social media posts.
And because I've never been, it's crazy, I've never actually been on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
When you go on there and I sign up to you or whatever, I get stuff, and then is there ongoing things? Like, is it things that are reposted, or can I talk to you? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, you can chat with me all day. Also,
that's a lot.
Yeah. And I have 300 videos, 300 pictures already.
Okay.
And then anything new or anything like special, I offer every week. You can buy for extra.
And you do that stuff you don't post anywhere else?
Nowhere else. Yeah, nowhere else. The only other person that owns that footage is the person I collaborated with.
Got it.
So you can only get it from our pages.
And you agree with them during the collab that that's the stuff they're not going to put on Twitter and they're not going to do any other stuff.
Right. Everybody should do paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. A lot of people don't.
Okay.
You really should do paperwork to, you know,
That's where my team, you guys, the team I was telling you about, the accounting and financial team, they create all that stuff for you.
Yeah.
Even people don't even come to my house without an NDA usually.
right.
So we haven't done that for this yet. We should do that actually, but we haven't done that for this yet.
Yeah. No, but to clarify, like, okay, you're not going to put this on Pornhub for free, right?
Right, because that you don't want to, because if
Yes.
that's going to be your OnlyFans and the subscribers, they'll be pissed
Yes.
if they find out that a paid content was somewhere else.
Absolutely. So for most other websites, you need a release to post that. I know for Pornhub, you need a release. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but the paperwork of it, besides that, communication is usually sufficient. Usually, especially if you're working with bigger people.
Yeah, they're usually not going to like harm you or anyway.
Absolutely.
And how much does you charge?
$9.99.
That's high.
Yeah.
Isn't that or no?
A month? No,
I don't know.
That's super standard.
Oh, it seemed high. Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's maybe we need to elevate that a little bit. What's the highest you've ever seen?
For a monthly?
Yeah.
$19.99.
Okay. And what did that person do that was so special?
Well, usually that person will have a VIP page where they post everything to that.
Okay.
And then for the $9.99 page, they sell a lot of stuff.
Can you, like an Instagram, do like stories where you're like posting things every day? Can you be posting like behind the scenes and like,
Yeah.
hey, today I'm getting up and doing this, but you don't show that anywhere else, like exclusive content that's not sex?
To OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
Do you do that? Or no?
no, because I put so much energy
In these other videos and stuff?
into my social media too.
Got it.
So it's like,
So you can't do it everywhere.
yeah. So I need to, that's where I'm selling the brand of me is Instagram. Twitter is where I'm selling myself.
So I have a feeling I know what he needs to grow for a lot of money. We need to make an ass replica of him in rubber.
Oh, yeah.
And that needs to be what people have sex with at home.
Well, yeah.
I'll invest in that.
Truthfully,
Let's
though,
do it.
Truthfully, though, so,
Because everyone does these dildos. You could do the opposite.
well, off the record, or maybe on the record.
Off record.
Well, maybe on record too. He would actually
You
like
wait.
this
You
a
wait
lot.
till you tell him when you want it on record. We'll make it a video.
Okay.
Wait, what is it? You're making something already.
No.
Oh.
My friend is like his porn name is 10-inch top.
Okay.
And he's a huge.
It's a great name.
Twitter- Yeah, he's a huge Twitter, account that's just been like, his whole thing is just his gigantic penis.
I feel like I've seen him. Is he like blonde or ginger or something?
Yes.
He doesn't show his face.
Bingo. See,
Know
everybody-
exactly who he is because I wanted you to reach out to him for a pee shot. He has the whole thing. It's the same thing every time. The guys are blowing at him. He's looking down.
Yeah.
Then he turns them around and does it from the back. It's very standard. It's the same thing every video.
Yeah. So he would probably love this shout out. So we can definitely. This is on.
We want 10-inch top for our pee shots to the penis.
He's lovely too. He's one of my closest friends
That's
in the
cool.
industry. So he has made so much money off of his dildo
That's what I mean.
that his partner quit their highly successful OnlyFans
And just helps him.
and just works with
That's
the dildo.
good. That's awesome.
Yes.
But that's what I mean. You'd have to capitalize.
Yeah,
And that's what I mean. I don't see why you couldn't do that. I
Absolutely.
think that'd be so cool to do.
Yeah. His experience with making his dildo was really eye opening with just how much capital you have to kind of have down
Oh, a lot.
initially.
That's why I said you got to go to someone that can invest in it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think it's something like a
I mean, some people don't realize what entrepreneurs really have to go through to be successful, because the most entrepreneurs will show, the fancy place that they opened or how beautiful it is or the branding and this and that, and they don't realize the millions of dollars in debt or the investors that they have to have. So I have a skincare line. To develop it, it took 3 years of research. And I can go to another company, it's here actually in Irvine, where they literally have all these formulas. You can put in a bottle and they will basically take 50%. You don't have to put any money up front.
Damn.
The shittiest skincare ever. Literally the worst. And you want to know something? 70% of the doctors have it.
I'm sure.
And they have it in different bottles. It makes it look like it's something else, but it's not. It's all crap.
Sure.
So I'm like, I can't do that because I don't believe in it. It's really, really bad for you. It's actually the skin everything in it is not good quality. So I developed my own. It cost over $1.9 million to develop. If you develop it and you get all that product, it takes 6 months to rebuy your product with the bottles and all the components, the boxes, etc. So you have to rebuy all of that when you're only 6 months out. Because if you don't order, if you wait till the end, then you have to wait 6 months to get it again. and then people don't get products for 6 months. So you have to have double what you actually have to be able to rebuy it when it starts to run out.
That's crazy.
That's very expensive. And imagine I'm at a low level of just, we were in 70 doctors' offices, but in my own practice and stuff. But if you were like, let's say one of those at Sephora or whatever, where they're selling millions and imagine how much money you actually have to have out. That's why I like a Makeup by Mario and Kim. They don't spend their own money on that. They get investors that have millions of dollars and they put $5 million into the launch, and then a couple months later they do it again because they have to rebuy it, but hopefully they sell it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of investment, even in one product.
Well, back to like you were saying too about the quality. So there are places I could easily get a mold of my ass made, but it
might be shitty quality.
It's shit. It's the Ripley homemade.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Right. So
I'll talk to you separately. We're gonna find something. I have an idea.
Yeah, so
couple
my
ideas.
friend, his whole thing was like the hardest part of it was finding the right.
That's why my skincare line took 3 years because I had to try every bottle.
Absolutely.
Not only first I made the formulas. While during that time I was looking at bottles, looking at this, you have to find the right packaging people, the right components, right? So entrepreneurs have to go through a lot. It's not just there's an investment. That's a lot of risk. You have to take major risks. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. Let's say that was your own money. And you saved up all that money and you're like, you know what? I have all this savings. Now I'm going to use everything for this ass mold. Then what if it doesn't succeed?
Totally.
Then you have nothing, So I feel like people don't realize what it actually takes to really own a business and a product or something. And that's why I think it's kind of interesting. I was telling my team, I feel like the future is kind of fucked a little bit when it comes to business and like professional careers and things, because most people want to do what you do. They want to do an OnlyFans, do social media, have their own, to be their own boss, work at their own time and make a lot, right? But
it's the dream.
It is, but not a lot of people can do that, right? So, but they don't realize, they don't think that because Instagram makes it look like you can. And so they see someone that has a skincare or you've had the dildo or whatever it is, and they go, oh, I can do that. And then later they realize it's almost impossible and they didn't know what you actually went through. And that's why I tell like new doctors that come work for me, like, I was up late nights doing stuff. I networked for years before I got patients. I did, so many things to build that like you're doing now, the collaborations, traveling, having to do social media posts, building it, that it takes you much more time and much more effort than you realize. Anyone that says, I want to work a 9 to 5 and not have to do anything when I leave, or says, that's not a part of my job. Like I go, oh my God, like you don't understand. If you did your own thing, you'd have to do everything. You're right. There is literally nothing. The customer service, the response. What if you had OnlyFans and people are talking to you all day and you never responded?
Yeah, I would just miss out on a lot of sales.
Okay, so I had a salesperson that worked for me that I didn't know for like 3 to 4 months. Every weekend would not answer her calls, would not answer her texts. I lost millions of dollars, numerous patients, got tons of bad reviews because she was like, I wanted a work-life balance when her job was to be on the phone to be able to respond. Like, why are you even doing that job then? But you can't do that if you want a good reputation and you want your own business. And so people don't realize, if they go, oh, well, my job, I need the work-life balance, or I want this, like your work-life balance is wherever you are, you got to respond to these people that are paying you $10 a month.
Even when I'm on vacation.
See? Vacation is not vacation.
No, because if I'm somewhere beautiful, especially, I'm like, my poor husband. Like, babe.
That's why my fiance works for me.
No, 100%. So he's suddenly my photographer. We're making travel reels. We're doing this, that, and the other. But
it allows you to be on the vacation.
Absolutely.
This is the reason.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. There's this amazing Instagram. I forgot, it's some guy from Dubai that has some educational entrepreneurial course, and he's in a G-Wagon or a Rolls Royce, I can't remember, and he's driving with his girlfriend, and she's like, babe, I need you to get off the phone, and he's like on the phone or whatever, and then like he goes like this, and they're in like a Honda, the phone's gone, she's out of Hermes bag is gone, it's like, I don't know, Gucci or something, no, it's not even, it's something like a Walmart Birkin or something, and she's like, what happened? And he's like, you told me to stop working, you told me to stop. She's like, no, go back. And he goes back and he's now in a Lambo.
Totally.
And he's like working. I was like, you get what you put into it.
Yeah.
People don't just give you stuff for free. Like, it doesn't work that way. But so many people I find go, well, I want to work for myself, or I want to do this, but they don't even want to work hard in a regular job.
Right.
Like, how are they going to succeed when it comes to owning a business? Because you're basically a business owner.
Right. Yeah.
And how much do you work?
Sun up till sundown. It really depends. So like a lot of my job is also market research, which is
That's a lot of work.
Was essentially doom scrolling. So sometimes I'll be like, wait, did I just work? Or was I just on
Well, I do that
Instagram for
every
an
single
hour?
night, and then my fiance thinks I'm just looking at guys and stuff, and it's not. I'm like literally screening. I'm like screening for people that I know could potentially sell our product, or have a good engagement, or look good enough to do a treatment. Like there's certain things on there. He's like, no, you're just looking at these guys. I'm like, no, I'm actually trying to figure out who is going to be good for us to do some of these things, and also like some of them have real branding, like have real businesses that you can tell have engagement that are leading to other sources of revenue, because that's a true business, that's what I mean. And so, it's constant. And that's the thing I tell people, like, if you want to be successful, it's constant. You can't make a lot and be financially successful and say, I don't work at night, or I don't work at certain times.
No, totally.
Like if we have, like this past week, someone called us at 1:30 in the morning, a patient, and my fiance answered. And so you just have to. It is what it is. So how do you think you're going to be remembered in the industry? Or I'll put it this way. How do you think people see you now, and what do you want to achieve and be remembered for?
I think people see me right now as like probably the top sort of guy with body hair doing what I do. I know that's ridiculous, like kind of thing to say, but
Well, that's a niche.
it is a niche, and it's a niche that the industry actually doesn't know what to do with. They don't really know what to do with me. So at the AVNs, I've won 7 of them, and
Tell people what that is.
the adult video news, which is
Okay.
like probably the biggest,
It's like a award ceremony, or what is it?
yeah. So it's
How often is it?
once a year.
Okay.
And it's the Oscars of gay porn, and it's the Oscars of straight porn as well. So it's like probably the biggest, I don't even know what you would call it, entity within the porn industry that's been around.
So maybe we need to partner with them for male treatments.
Well, they've got the girls too. There's
Even better.
they had Iggy Azalea last year was their award show. Jason Derulo.
Oh, wow.
The gays make significantly less money, so we get like
Who?
we got. You watched Drag Race?
No, but I have a lot of clients in it.
We got Bruno. He's in the pit crew on Drag Race.
Okay, that's cool.
He's great. Yeah.
Okay, we need to up that. We need to up that.
Yeah. So
I have some big singers I can probably get, like at the level you're describing.
yeah. So we so I've won 3 years in a row. Favorite bear.
What do people love about you when you're having sex? What do they tell you why you win? Like, what is it?
Well, so it depends. So I've won for a scene that was a 9-person, 9 and me.
Okay.
Gang
It's like
bang.
Mommy and Me.
Yeah.
The 9 and Me.
That was Brazil.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Okay, so they're like at least 8 inches or bigger.
Bigger. Yeah, bigger.
Bigger was quick. He answered that so fast. He was like bigger for sure.
Bigger. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was one of my. I actually kind of got.
Did you like it?
Yeah, there were times I was really enjoying it.
How long does that whole 9-person thing take?
Start to finish, because this was more amateur, although it was for like a new studio that's going for amateur. Produced by a huge studio though, which is how it got into the award categories.
I might need to do market research for this video.
Yeah, it's Blame It on Rio.
Send it to me.
Okay, yeah. So 3 hours. Not bad.
I don't think I've ever had sex that long before.
Right. And they thought
it's
it was
interesting.
really funny to have me start with the biggest guy.
Oh God, I thought you work it up. I thought people work up.
That's what I thought too.
Oh wow. And then we should have Botoxed.
No,
Shit.
100,000%.
See, this is why I need to be affiliated with this award ceremony.
100, because what they don't tell you when you do steroids too is that your asshole gets stronger
And your prostate gets bigger.
Yes.
So it's a little bit harder to take bigger dicks. It's way more sensitive.
You'd think the more big things you take, the better you'll get at it, but it's been the opposite.
Yeah, it is.
Benjamin Button, my asshole.
You're lucky because a lot of people get stretched out. Or
I
they
would take
practice. Do you practice or no?
I practice. It goes right back.
No. I mean with like at home things.
Yeah.
It goes right back? You're lucky.
Within minutes.
You're lucky. Oh my God. No wonder you win.
It depends who you ask, though, if I'm lucky.
Well, that's
'Cause for
true.
me,
That's
I'm
true.
not.
You're not lucky for you, but for
Every time
aging.
I'm losing my virginity again is what it feels
Well,
like.
listen, I have a lot of guys that come to me that want the hole to either be able to expand easier or they don't like that it's too stretched looking.
I'll take the first one.
So, okay, interesting. Well, we're going to do it. So, but what is it that they like about you? I want to know, like, what are you doing in the videos that they're like, wow, he is the best at taking it?
Well, I think it's the brand that I've built. I think it's the whole package. I think that it's me, and I am built a certain way, and
Yeah.
I have a hairy ass, and I'm kind of like the, guy next door.
You put emotion into it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Which I have to say, right now my Botox is wearing off,
We need to get it in there.
which makes my job great, but I don't like the lines.
Yeah.
So
I don't ever use Botox. Even I do the most in the West Coast.
Yeah.
Well, we could do yours. Who do you go to? We don't have to tell me on here.
Yeah, but when I have Botox, I don't show as much emotion on camera.
Yeah, it's true.
When I first
do you
started-
make noise?
Yes.
And people like that.
People like that. People like the noise. People like that I'm connected to my scene partners.
Okay.
I like really, even if it's 9 people, I'll try to connect with each one. Yeah.
That's
the most you
wild.
can. In Brazil, though, it was Portuguese, so it was kind of hard to.
They didn't teach you any.
No, Portuguese is like the dialect alone, the accent alone of Brazilian Portuguese. I couldn't even read it.
That's
And-
wild.
Yeah.
There's these new chat GPT glasses that translate for you while you're listening. Did I tell you? We're gonna get. I think I ordered them already.
Yeah.
That it literally while you can be in surgery and your phone's connected, and so you could see all chat and you can talk to it and it will respond to you. And so even while you're doing surgery, you could be talking, you could be doing other things. It's crazy, but it translates everything for you. So if I was in Mexico City and I didn't know Spanish, while someone's talking to me, it would translate it right on right on your screen.
That's amazing.
It's insane.
That's a game
very-
changer for what I do, because I don't shoot much in LA. I try to shoot in different countries, different cities.
That gives you a variety of people.
Absolutely.
How many people subscribe to you on average?
On average, anywhere from 1,800 to like 2,500.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really good.
Yeah, I have a message mailing list of like 20,000 plus that I can send out things I'm selling.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's going to make you a lot.
Yeah.
When I had the idea, I told him it's going to be huge. I want to talk about one last thing, unless there's something else that you want to talk about, because I think this has been great. I think it's fun. I wanted to talk about like your fitness routine, because you said what's important to you is to keep the ass big and look good. You need to stay very healthy and fit. Obviously, it's for your audience, but for yourself, you feel probably better to look good. And obviously with working out, it makes you have more confidence. What is it that you do? Like, what is your workout routine? What supplements and stuff do you take to look a specific way? What look are you going for?
Yeah, I mean, it was for me first. So I got sober about 8 years ago.
Oh, good.
And then
From drugs or alcohol?
both.
Okay.
Yeah, both. So I had was really skinny. And then
Okay.
I went from really skinny to skinny fat.
Oh, wow.
I got my testosterone levels checked. I was 250.
That's what I was, 240.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really low. So then I started working with the doctor to get my testosterone back up and all this. And then I got back into the gym. And yeah, that was 3-4 years before I even started porn. So
Got it.
I got to where I was loving my body and I had the energy to work out, and because I didn't have any of that before. So my test.
Yeah,
was
I
so
think
low.
guys, that's one thing men really need to make sure that no matter what, as they get older, they check their hormones.
Absolutely.
Because everything relates to your hormones need to be optimized to get results, even from supplements, peptides, working out. Women have always noticed that way more, and because they hit menopause and it's known for them to go and get treated,
Yeah.
and they get, their skin changes, their body changes, they start to sag, they start to not feel as good. That's normal for women,
Yeah.
but it's not as normal for men to be like, oh, I'm a little tired, or I'm not sleeping well, or I'm noticing my muscle kind of going away and I need to go get that checked and treated.
Yeah.
Actually, very few doctors even know how to treat testosterone well. And so that's the other thing too. You can't just take testosterone. You have to do other things to prevent your testicles from sagging. You have to do things that prevent you from getting side effects like a bloated stomach, bloated face, hands and feet growing, potentially other issues like high blood pressure, heart attacks.
So my estrogen began to rise at the same level of my testosterone.
Yeah, and that's not good.
So for the first 6 months of this, I was feeling just as fatigued.
Yeah.
Spare tire, big face,
Yeah.
puffy face. So then I had to work to get my estrogen down.
Yeah.
And my balls disappeared. So I had to do HCG to get
Yeah.
my balls back. Yeah, but I feel like I'm at like a good stride. When I can, the HCG is a fortune. So when I can really afford to like, my balls.
Well, we can get it. So I get it from compounding pharmacies for my patients for way cheaper.
Really?
So that's the other thing we can talk about. But there is a peptide called Kisspeptin. It's something for you guys to learn. I think we did a couple videos on Instagram about it. All my male clients are on it. It acts like an HCG. It stimulates your testicles to produce more testosterone. It's a little bit more targeted and has a little less side effects. HCG tends to give you a little bit of water. Once you start taking it more than 500 twice a week or even 3 times a week, you get a little bit of a swollen face and stuff like that. You don't realize. Yeah, you don't even realize it until you actually are coming off of it. But people don't go off of it because the doctors aren't smart enough, so they don't understand.
So I was taking 2,000 twice a week.
Yeah, that's a lot. That'll make you potentially more bloated looking and stuff. But Kisspeptin doesn't do that. So we keep people at a lower level with HCG, and we add in the Kisspeptin, which tends to have 0 risks of that, but does a very similar thing. And it's nice because you can have people even at a young age, 20s something, if they just want to boost, but they don't want to take any hormones, Kisspeptin's a peptide and it's safe. HCG is more of a medication. It's more of a real placental peptide, so it just works a little bit differently. But there are other things that increase it. There's even a prescription pill now that's out that has a mixture of ingredients in it, DHT blockers, enclomiphene, cortisol reduction blockers, and what am I missing? There's one other thing in there, but it helps to stimulate your own testosterone and give you anti-estrogen effects. So you could use that to limit how much testosterone you take instead of just adding an inostrozole like an anti-estrogen.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what I find is a lot of people compromise by going to a regular doctor or somebody that goes, I treat men, and they're not really that educated in hormone therapy, and they do this basic thing, testosterone, maybe an anti-estrogen, and then they add HCG later. And that's it. That's literally the textbook. But the real life is what I just said. But it's hard to find, and doctors charge more for that. So people get, they end up coming to me when it's already way past.
It took my doctor months to even figure out.
Oh, I would have known it in a second.
Yeah.
I would have known in a second because I just do this so much. But we do a lot of peptide therapies like that. And that's why I think like somebody like you could be a good representative of trying to be on less hormones and doing more supplements that would help you for your health and fitness and just sex. Because a lot of the supplements, there's a couple peptides, like one called PT141, that's a nasal inhaler and an injection that stimulates blood flow, and it gives you real heart erections. It was made for women when they had menopause to have more libido, so their men, they would want to have sex with their husbands, actually. Amazing. But now guys that use it, like, yell at me because they're like, I can't stop having erections. Like, they love it. And it helps stimulate. So all the guys that get the P shots and do the Botox and stuff like that, we have them on it twice a week, and it just gives them that extra vibrancy that can either be with a Cialis or not with a Cialis, and it just gives you more, and people love it. So you could potentially, it's not really something you take right before a shoot, it's something you take every day, but you could, if you're like, I want to boost, you're those 9 guys, you spray a little one between the 3 every third or something. I don't know. We could do that if you want to. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I'm actually making my own peptide launch of 150 different peptides. Wow. This would be my own name, my own brand for people. So it'll be really cool to see, like, if we could start using it and see how it affects you and see if it gives you that extra enhancement, because men want that in the real life, in their bedroom, but you can utilize that, in your scenes. So the last part I wanted to ask you was, my fiance is super hot, super amazing, very smart, totally loyal, one guy only, never would let me be with another person in a million years. He'll kill me. So how do you have a husband that that wants you to be in this type of industry? I'm just curious as to what his thoughts are and how you found someone like that.
It's a struggle. I mean, it's a big struggle. So I have two-part answer.
Because I have a lot of beliefs on men and how they are with sex and why I don't feel men are meant to be with one person forever.
Yeah.
I think to love somebody is different than to have sex with them.
100%.
Or love, you could potentially like multiple people for various reasons.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to, so how that relationship has lasted, how long it's been, and what you guys do to make it work.
So in the beginning, he actually didn't tell me how hard it was for him.
Okay.
He really didn't. He just sort of pushed through, and I had no idea he was struggling as hard as he actually was until about a year into the relationship. We started, he started doing OnlyFans because it just made sense. Like,
he did it with you or did it with other people?
To start with me. Yeah, it made sense. Made quick, cool money. It was like, okay, this is fun. Like, we're doing this already. We'll say we're in Miami and I'm about to film with this really hot guy.
Like, why not join or something like that?
It would be amazing if you would just come with me instead of waiting in the hotel room. We could both go and this, that, and the other. So then when he started to want to do it on his own without me there.
And how did you feel?
Terrible.
Oh, wow.
Horrible.
The guy that started it all.
Horrible.
See, this is the thing I worry about because I think I'm attractive, but my fiance is very attractive. And even so, if I'm at the gym with him, I can tell who's looking at him, but they never will approach him because I'm with him. But when I'm not with him, people follow him around all the time. Like even the other day, he told me a guy in the steam room started jerking himself off in front of him to try and signal him to come over. Equinox Hollywood, by the way.
This is standard.
And I go, what? I go, oh my God. I go, well, you know what? That guy says balls. I was like, no pun intended. But I was like, he was playing with himself a little bit, to like get him to come over. And he doesn't know. My husband will think, my fiance will think that's disgusting and leave away, even though maybe he doesn't. He just is younger and has various beliefs on things. I think he's trained by society until he realizes that people just are like that innately.
Yes.
But he's also just younger. But either way, I think like he's had multiple times where people have literally followed him around and then went back with him into the locker room. And then when he went to the bathroom, they were right next to him at the urinal and like backed up a little bit to show their dicks to him.
Yeah.
And he like calls me. Yeah, he calls me and he's like, this is so crazy. This guy, I'm like, why is that crazy? Because you're attractive. So these guys, they're going to do that.
Right.
But I can't believe that they do because I've actually never seen it, but I know that they do because I see that people looking.
Right.
So I always wondered to myself, what would I feel like if I was like, I want to be in an open relationship, and then he goes, I want to hook up with this guy, but not with you.
The amount of hypocrisy my poor husband has had to deal with.
That's so funny.
The amount of sheer, just out of pocket hypocrisy of like, we were in. Back to the gym. We were in John Reed, and I see
that's the one where everyone takes their shirts off, right?
Yeah.
Like people know what they look like. Yeah,
right, which I don't. I think that's cheesy as hell. But unless I'm filming a fun workout video, I take my shirt off. But I see this guy, and they're like saying bye to each other, and I'm like, "Who's that?"
Oh God, what did you do?
He's like, "Oh, just some guy. He asked me for my Instagram," and I was like, "Did you tell him you were married?"
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And like in that moment, I really cared. Like, did you tell him you were married?
What was it? Was he super attractive, or was it just because he was a guy that was hitting on him and he's yours?
It's that. Okay, so here's when it comes down to it. It's only in LA because I've been here for so long and I know how these bitches work.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, I mean, no one seems to care around here if they want to try and break up a relationship or something.
They don't care.
Like that. Because like people DM my fiance all the time. Literally, he shows them to me, which I think is amazing. We do have amazing communication, and he has the retinal scan on my phone, so he can literally look at my phone or his phone anytime. And the only time we ever got in a fight, one time, 3 years, we never get in fights.
Yeah.
We're very open with communication, actually. And it's funny. I've never looked at his phone, but he looks at mine all the time. I know for a fact. And one time he got mad at me and he turned off location because I have his location on there, and I was mad, but I was only mad because I was like, if something happened to him because he was upset and something happened and I wouldn't know where he was, then I wouldn't know how to help him. Like if something happened. So I was like, you can't do that. I was like, if you want to do that, you have to ask me, because if you do that and then you randomly get pissed off and drive away and get hit by a car or something, I'll never know. That's not healthy. That's not good. So it was, and then he's like, I apologize. I'll never do that again. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But there's I see the text, I see the DMs.
Yeah. So as I've gotten more comfortable with things, the arbitrary rules that I've made up to be more comfortable, and then
So you have agreed upon rules.
yes, we had like, so for the first bit of it, it was all right. I just don't want you to bottom for anybody else on camera.
That's what I said. That's what I would have said.
Right. So something about that bothers me.
For him.
For him to bottom
Okay.
for somebody else on camera. Something about that bothers
But in real life, he could? Oh, you were only doing it on camera
Yeah, at that point
at
we
the
were
beginning.
just doing.
How long
just
were you
doing
together before that time?
About a year.
Okay.
Yeah, about a year. And
That's
so,
low. That's actually little.
Yeah.
I've been together over 3 years.
Yeah. So keep in mind, he had been fully supportive of
Right,
me
of what you already did.
collabing through our entire relationship up
Okay.
to that point. But I was really triggered by the idea of him getting fucked on camera by somebody else. So then I sort of let go of that. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I've seen it a couple times. Then it was, all right, people that I've worked with before, which is not hard to do. I've been doing this for 4 years. Like, I've worked with mostly everybody. But even then, it was like, then as he, I got more and more used to it. I was like, okay, you can collab with whoever you want as long as they're not mean to me.
Oh my God. That's
Or if, like,
funny.
they've ever been a dick to me, that's my only rule.
So you have a blacklist. You have to make a
Yes.
blacklist.
Yeah, there's probably like 4 or 5 people
Okay.
that have been rude to me, and like, just don't fuck them, please. You know what I mean?
How do people find him or you? They just know you because they see you on Twitter or OnlyFans?
To work with
Yeah, or just to try and hook up with you.
Twitter and Instagram,
So they'll just try Instagram, they'll just DM you.
constant.
Or like if a picture you post, they'll just like heart it or something.
Yeah, constant. Yeah, you know.
Oh, I all the
You
time.
know.
But less people write to me though, because I'm a doctor. Less on Snapchat they do.
Oh.
He actually got mad. Jose, oh my God, he went. I've never actually didn't think he would ever go to my Snapchat because my entire. You don't understand. People watching this, I have like at least 12 people that look at my Instagram every day, including 3 managers. What do you think I'm posting on there? I cannot be posting a dick pic or anything like my entire staff, including my concierge center, will see it.
Yeah.
And so on Snapchat, that doesn't go into our thing. So, but people write it all the time because we do videos and stuff and we post like surgery on there because you can post surgery on Snapchat. And so on Snapchat, people post it a lot. So my manager is always laughing. He goes, okay, so here's the rule. Between 8 and 10 a.m., I'm not going to check Snapchat, my manager. He's like, you do it because it's too many dick pics. It's too many. He's straight, very straight. And I was like, Jordan, like, just look at it. I don't care. Like, if somebody does, good for them to like want to try and do it. I was like, I'd be curious to see, but if it's good, save it. That's what I said. If it's a nice one, save it for
course.
us. We can use it on the website. No, I'm kidding. So it's funny. So I check the Snapchats now because there's so many. There's so many that get on there. And it's funny too because girls will write me too. And I'm like, have you guys ever follow? Like, do you even follow my account? Because mine actually is not anonymous. It says like what I do. It's on there. So I feel like less people write a doctor that way. But I feel like, like you, because of what you do, and probably Jose, because he just has a normal Instagram.
Yes.
They'll do that and they'll write all the time. But he always says to me, I can't believe, look at this. This guy shows this video or whatever. I'm like, guys want to have sex and they have their balls. Like if they are willing to do that, I go, good for them. They're pretty confident.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he goes, well, that guy's so unattractive. I was like, who cares? It's good for him that he has the self-confidence to do that. I go, he's not going to get it, but nice try.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. So I like kind of turn it around. I was like, let them do it. I go, by the way, when they do, tell them to come in for a pee shot, get some Botox or whatever. I was like, or if they're like small, tell them we can send them a penis enlargement page.
And I think we're used to it. Whereas like my husband is from London and I lived in London with him last year.
I love London.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I was there for like a year and he's, new to LA. He's been here almost a year now. But LA, more so than many, many cities on this earth, the gays here lead with sex.
Yeah.
Everything is about sex here. Like, oh, are we going to fuck? How do I know I fucked you? Like, friend groups are based around.
Wow.
Like, my best friend is my ex. My other best friend is my ex.
Oh, wow.
So the friend group
That's
is
funny.
like, who's fucked who.
It's funny because my fiance, if I ever talked to an ex, he would kill me in a second. Because one time, wait, what happened? Like, even if a name pops up on my phone that's someone he's never seen the name of, he's like, who's that? I'm like, literally, that's a conference call I had with an owner of this business.
Yeah.
Like, you need to chill.
I
chill.
can relate to that. As like when he's setting up collabs, the less I know, the better. You know, like
I don't look at his stuff because
Yeah.
I just trust it anyways.
Yes.
But it's just funny. I was just curious because I find that nowadays more people are having these little bit like open relationships or they're poly. Like I have clients of mine that have like 2 husbands, 3 husbands. I have one that has 5 husbands. They each have their own house.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. It's insane. Insane. And it's in Bel Air, by the way. Not cheap, let me tell you. Oh yeah,
Sister wives.
It's crazy. Yes, exactly. But it's like I was like I can barely handle one.
Oh,
I was like, how could I do that? I'd rather have one and a lot of hookups or something.
So that's
than have,
what it comes down to, right? Is
You
like,
know?
how do you have the emotional bandwidth?
Too much. I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
This one requires a lot.
Yeah,
I have to be very successful for him.
So does mine.
Oh my God, it's funny. So all right, well that was it. I thought this was great. We
yeah,
could talk a
that's
lot
great.
more on. I think in the future, I think there's a lot more we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But tell everybody who you are, where to find you, so that they know. And then that's it. I think it'll be great for the future. I think I'm really happy that you came on.
Yeah, this was really fun. You can find me, Beau Butler Official, Instagram, Beau Butler XXX, Twitter, and OnlyFans, Beau Butler XXX.
I think I might sign up. We're gonna put on my corporate card.
Yeah, please
see what's going on.
Just
Do a
don't
lot.
tell your fiance. I don't want her mad at me. I'm just kidding.
No, it won't. Don't worry. I'm going to see, and then you have to tell me some of the top people because I might have to do it for market research, you guys. Market research.
I will tell you the top people.
Okay, that'd be great. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good too.